We're putting together the 2026 list of garden topics. Of course, that'll be winter. We start in January. That'll be pruning and wildflowers and house plants and all that wintry kind of topic mix. Um, I will invite you to a event that we just put on the calendar. December 3rd, we've had 2 sip-in shops. You come in at the end of the day, we'll give you a glass of wine, maybe hot cocoa or spiced tea on December 3rd, and we're going to showcase the winter plants, and then by then we'll have the latest Christmas cactus, amaryllis, poinsettias, and you see all, I mean, we carry way more than just basic Costco red. We actually have exotic, cool varieties. So we'll be showcasing those. We picked December 3rd, it's a Wednesday, because now you're after, we can't compete with Walmart and Black Friday or Amazon and Cyber Monday. It's so stressful. You're waiting in line, you might get mobbed, I don't know. Come in a couple days later, relax, stroll through the gardens, and it'll be kind of fun. So you invite your friends to your parties. You all are friends, please come. So 4 to 5:30. I'll make sure you get an invite. So you'll see, we just picked that like 2 days ago. We should do this again. What do you think? And so the team's noodling this going, let's do it after all the holiday chaos. So gardeners would like that. So December sip and shop, we'll have some cheese, and it's 4 to 5:30, so you can come in and maybe go on a date afterwards. Christmas cookies, that's good. We should make Christmas. We should have an employee Christmas cookie making. That'd be fun. So we do my philosophy in life. When business gets hard, throw a party. Just kind of, everything's better with a party. I don't care if it's your own personal, the company, a barbecue, just whatever, throw a party. Life is better with a party. And that I have 4 kids. So I guess, hi, my name's Ken. I'm the owner. So hello, my daughter, Mackenzie, she's the other. We run this place together. Sometimes my wife still comes in. She's trying to throttle back and pseudo retire, go visit the grandkids more often who live in Texas. And so she's trying, but she's still here. She was here 2 days this week. So, because we had pottery and stuff coming in. The 2026 pottery is here. So spring next year's already starting to happen. It's kind of exciting. I had 4 kids, and we've always had parties. We love backyard parties. We're the loud Lane family. We love, the volume goes up the second we all get together. And we always had a strong believer in that you got to teach your kids how to have a good toast, how to pray before dinner, all the cordial stuff that you should do as a large group. We've just taught them how to do that, and they still do that to this day, get together. So Thanksgiving is going to be in San Antonio, Texas. I don't know where your party is, but that's where all the grandkids are, and a lot of my kids are in retail. So, I mean, like like Black Friday retail stuff. They have to work, so they can't go off to someplace else. So we're going to them. So it's kind of going to be fun. Okay, I don't know why I shared all that. So over TMI. So welcome, glad you're here. Today's garden class is on basically the top 10 plants, the go-to. Where do you start? I mean, just if you don't know where to go, start with these. You can't go wrong. And so the title is Easy Plants for Busy Gardeners. But basically, it's you can't kill these plants. And so I thought I'd go down the row, and I've broken them out into some flowers, some evergreens, some blooming things, and I skewed it more towards what looks good this time of year. So it's an Andinas, all the evergreeny kind of things. There's basically 3 kinds of plant. There's more than that, but basically here you've got deciduous plants. Those are plants that are losing their leaves right now. It's that beautiful chaos that's going on. I just took a picture, posted on Facebook of my peach tree. So if you're following our Facebook feeds or Instagram feeds, basically those are either at the garden center or in my yard. So if you want to see what my gardens look like, just follow us on Facebook. You heard me. Follow right now. Get off this call and go to Facebook and follow us on Facebook. Yeah, you heard me. Okay. So anyway, fun with the camera. I took a picture of my peach tree because it's full yellow. In fact, a few days ago, a week ago, all the yellow leaves were they're falling on top of the hot tub. It had this earthy cover on it. It's on the patio. It was beautiful, striking yellow, no filters, just posted, and it was glorious. Of course, now all the leaves have dropped off. So there's a few leaves left. This next storm coming through, they're all going to be gone. There'll be leaves everywhere. So I'm starting to rake up kind of stuff. Hey, Richard. Hey, brother. So that's deciduous. You have evergreen trees. These are going to be your junipers, cypress, cedars, the big, tall. They got a central leader, most of pine trees, conifers, a lot of conifers, and swooping branches around that. That's a whole separate category. We use those to block, to screen, cut down the wind, just to add something. Colorado spruce is going to be glorious in December. This is their claim to fame, because they're just that perfect Christmas tree shape. And they grow wild here. I mean, Spruce Mountain, it's not full of spruce. I mean, there are spruce up there. Actually, it is spruce, Colorado spruce, and conicolor fir. Firs and spruce are up there. So they just naturally grow. As you come down the elevation and you're planting them here, you probably need to irrigate them until they get established, so they get those roots out. And then they are very robust, very hardy evergreen trees. And then you have your broadleaf evergreens. These are shrubs typically. They've got a leaf on them, not a needle. So we call them broadleaf evergreen shrubs, basically. And I'll start with this one. This is probably one that we should be planting more of. Everyone wants to grow red tip photinia. I don't think I brought that up here because I don't like that plant. No, I don't like red tip photinia. I would never put that into my own garden, and I would never give it easy plants for busy gardeners. I would never do that, because you'll be burdened with keeping the deer off of them, always keeping the bugs, keeping the mildew, they're nothing but work, but they grow fast, and you get a lot of plant for the money, and that's why they're number one seller. So, but this is way better. Same size, 10 by 10. This is a red clusterberry cotoneaster, or cotton Easter is how you spell it. This plant gets 10 by 10, no bugs, gets no animals eat it. It's a cousin of a wild, cotoneasters grow wild here. You'll see some of these, you crest over towards Skull Valley, that area. You'll see this big blue bush that's about this tall, big around. It's a direct cousin to that, same DNA. This plant loves growing here. It's where you go to for screening. That the headlights are coming directly into your living room. The neighbors are over there in the hot tub, and you should not be seeing any of that. This is your plant. That's what you want to go with. I had a gigantic. I raised my family in Skull Valley, farming down there, big acreage, lots of greenhouses. Well, down there you don't have natural gas, you have propane. And we needed huge propane tanks, like 3 times commercial sized propane. They're like submarines. You don't bury them, they're sitting on top of the ground because you want to maintain them and fill them easy. You got to keep the inventory to keep them looking good. Well, that's right off my back door. I'm going, that's ugly. I planted 3 of these, 2 on either side of the big propane piece and 1 over here. Within a season, it was gone. I didn't have to look at that anymore. I just had this beautiful green wall. It's famous for red cluster berries because in the spring it has these beautiful clusters of white flowers. All those flowers turn into red berries. And so you'll see, I don't think this one has any because we've been pruning on it to keep it shaped. But all around town, you'll see a plant like this about this big, covered in red berries. That's this one. So this is way better, red clusterberry cotoneaster. So you had a question? Was that, got it covered? Oh, that's good. Thank you. Blistering hot, windy sun. Give it bad soil, curse at it, and just kind of think bad thoughts for it. It thrives on that. It's super easy. Where you'll get in trouble in heavy, thick clay soil, because it's so drought hardy, you got to make sure it doesn't sit in wet spots. If you've got an area where the rains, monsoons come and it pools right there, this is not your plant. Be something different. This is up on those drier areas where it can breathe. I would plant this and treat it like a tree. Water it, maybe put on the irrigation, water it once a week. It's more than enough to keep this plant going. So it's got, the reason it's so efficient, it's got this waxy green leaf to it, so it doesn't perspire very much. So anyway, red clusterberry, great. I do plant a lot of this, but I wouldn't plant red tip Botania. Roots are not invasive, not bad. Brought this one because it's an old-fashioned tree. Hey, Mom, I'm just going to greet everyone, say hi. So bring them on camera. Yeah. Yeah, when can you plant these? These are all planted now. This is we've skewed everything towards. Right now, I don't have a lot of winter, the deciduous things like lilacs, forsythia, flowering quince, the things that bloom in spring. I don't have those right now. We've sold out of those. And who wants to plant a twig in the ground? It's just not, it doesn't sell. So we liquidate those late summer, early fall, and then we bring in much more of the fall color and winter evergreen. That's the mix you're seeing now. It's also a good time to buy those evergreeny things because your yard's going to be naked next week. You're going to go, ooh, it looks so good. Now it looks like nothing but crushed granite everywhere. That's a time to plop your evergreens in because you can see what the spacing is. So 20% of your yard should be dedicated to evergreens. 20%. You got to start with that or more. Because of we're a 4-season climate, because things will lose their leaves and you're going, oh, it looks not full. So your backbone of a landscape always starts with evergreens. And this is your time to plant those. Absolutely, Barta. It's especially the best time for your bigger trees. So spruce, pine, cypress, cedar, firs, the big upright conifers. This is the best time, bar none. They will continue to root through the end of the year. They'll take a little break in January, and then they start to root again, starting kind of Valentine's Day, and it just keeps on going. So if you want more growth next spring, you plant now. Caveat, let me just share this with you. If you're planting now, do not plant it, water it once, and expect it to come back next spring and live. You're going to have to garden on this thing through the winter because we have long spells of very dry winters. It's not unusual for us to go 2 months, no snow, no rain. So you're going to have to supplement some watering at least twice a month through winter if you're planting now. If you do that, great success. If you plant it and your landscaper comes in, turns off the irrigation, blows out the lines and turns it off, and you don't drag a hose out and water every once in a while, you're not going to like the results. We get what winter burn. You cannot count on winter here. So that's the caveat I'll give you. Okay, this one I bring up to you. It gets a bad rap because it's such an old-fashioned plant. This is pyracantha. It is bulletproof. You can't kill this. We use this in commercial settings quite often, especially where consumers are cutting the corners where you don't want them to go. They're getting too close to the edge. We put this in there because the other name for this is called fire thorn. It's got a little thorn on it like this. You don't handle this with bare gloves. You have thick leather gloves on it. So, or you have your landscaper prune this one once a year, make it all go. But it's got white flowers in the spring, and then it does this. This is the same berry you did as a kid. You throw them at each other going, gotcha. This is the plant. It's been around that long. So pyracantha is just a great plant. We have one it's a dwarf variety. It's like a shrub like this. And so I use that one in my own yard. It's where we have backyard parties. It's a glorious backyard. Patio, I mean, it's got hot tubs and grills and fireplaces. It's nice. We love to gather back there. And so everyone wants to leave, not through the house. I tell them, go through the house. There's lighting in it. They always want to go to the side of the garage, up the stairs, back and go out that way because it's more, I don't know, courteous. I don't know. So they want to cut the corner where you go up to the garage. I planted one of those right here so they wouldn't step over this cavernous steps and then up to the next platform. I just want to keep them on the patio. So it's a landscape to control the flow of guests as they come to the backyard. This is the plant I use because you're not going to mess with this. You're not going to rush up again. You're just going to give it respect and go around it. But I use the dwarf one. This one's going to go this big by this wide. It's a big boy. So you use this one to screen in Prescott Valley up against those walls that are stark. They feel like, I don't know, just too much cinder block, stucco. This is one you put up there to soften that up, and kind of you could just trim it once a year, top it off to the top of the fence. It would look fantastic. Evergreen. Birds love it. In fact, this is one the birds, the berries will actually ferment. The robins will be out there in January, drunk as a skunk. They will just be going, I don't know if I can fly out of here. That's this berry. That's kind of what they do. Birds love this plant. I bring this one, 2 of these. Let's start with this because it's the most exciting. We only get these once a year. Okay, so that pyracantha I forgot to mention. Full sun, blistering hot, curse at it, kick dirt at it, plant it, make sure the soil drains, and it's going to thrive. So animals don't eat that. Nothing messes with it, doesn't get disease. I guess if there's one thing that can go wrong with it every 10 years or so, but it's so rare, I won't even mention it. It's just low, easy to care for. This one likes the shade. This is a camellia. You folks from California, you love your camellias, but most camellias are tropical. They're not going to go through the winter for us. This one's called Ice Princess because it's got a lot of antifreeze in the structure of the plant. This one does not freeze. I've personally had this go down to 0 degrees in my own gardens. Came through fine. What it doesn't like is full sun in June, middle of the day. It's not going to like this. It says it will grow on the tag. Don't believe it. I'm your friend. I'm telling you, plant it in more shaded, the east exposure, direct west. So it's shaded and then it gets into the day. Good. That midday in June is hard on it. It'll grow in full sun right now because it's not a hot sun. So this is one of the earliest possible blooming plants in spring or winter. It's a late winter, early spring bloomer. And you can see it's confused now because it's been so warm. Going, oh, it's a pollinator. Bees and butterflies like it, especially because it's blooming early. When it starts to get warm, bees they'll hibernate and they come out and they're really hungry. They're foraging for anything that's available when this thing is starting to bloom. This blooms about maybe even right before the rosemary blooms. Rosemary will bloom usually in March sometime, depends on the weather. And that's one of those pollinator plants, but great evergreen plant. Personal experience with elk and deer. They don't eat it. Right out there under the orchard. It's just, they love it. So this is under the trees in a container by that back patio that's covered or by the front door that's got a big cover. You want something glorious out front. This would love that. Gets up about this tall, chest high to hip high. You can easily keep it hip high by trimming it, but it's loaded. Each one of these little bulbs, that's a flower. So it'll stop blooming as soon as we get cold tomorrow. And then it will just rest and tease you going, I'll bloom for you. I'll bloom for you. As soon as the first warm day of late winter goes into bloom. So kind of blooms way before azaleas, way before rhododendrons, but shade, put this in the shade gardens. It's going to do better. Yeah.
So on that note,
yeah.
The tag will say full sun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those misleading tags. Coming to
yeah.
you, McKenzie, and your team. Hey, will this really go good?
Yeah.
Is there anything about the plant that gives you a clue?
Yeah. No.
Looking at it, dark green leaves.
So great question. We repeat that for folks online. Yes, we know you're there in your pajamas, sipping coffee right now. I wish I had one too. But the question was, the tag says full sun, but up here because of the altitude, closer to the sun, it changes the variables a little bit on some things. How do we know to read the tag or not to read the tag? I kind of summarize that. Don't read the tag. Okay. We generally have signage the signage we have in front of the plants, that's how it grows here. We've changed. We're not copying what's on the tag. We're creating a sign that tells you how it grows right here, or our website. We're not taking what's on Google or what the national growers are saying. We're bringing in how does it grow in your neighborhood at this elevation. And I got to get this out of the way. You poor folks in Prescott Valley, you think you're so special. You're not. You're the same as the rest of us. We're all the same. Chino Valley, we're all the same. It's all zone 7B to 8. We're all the same. We need plants that can go down to about 10 degrees. Okay, sometimes we see 0, but it's been 12 years since we saw a sub-zero winter. It's so freakish, we just don't see it. So it's basically we're defined as a zone 7B or 8. And what does that mean? Zones. So you will see zones on the tag. You can believe that. That's how cold will the plant go? How much antifreeze? It's really saying how much antifreeze does the plant have within the structure of the plant. And the more it has, the colder it can go. So lilacs, hollies, these are zone 5, 4 plants. They can go down to minus 20 degrees. Super cold. We will never see that kind of cold. But it will also grow in zone 7, zone 8. So you want plants that are 7 or lower, no question. You just don't have to. It says it's a zone 5, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can plant that. It's going to go through winter here. The question comes back to how much sun does it take? Now that's a different variable. That's not pertaining to how cold can it get. It's how much sun and wind. In June, when it's 10% humidity and the rains have not come yet, rains don't come until July. There's no cloud cover. There's just a prevailing southwest wind that sucks the new growth, sucks the life out of the new growth. Which plants can take that? So that's what we're trying to put on the signage on our website. Okay, we're trying to modify it for us. So look at that. So or ask us. We just know we've answered that same question 1,000 times. It's almost like rote. We just kind of know, oh yeah, that'll grow in full sun, no problem. Oh yeah, rabbits do eat that. Don't do that if you've got rabbits. Do this one instead. It's kind of our jobs. So camellia, shade to half-day sun. It'll do great. In California, you grew this in full sun. You're not in California anymore, Toto. You're at a mile high where the sun is more intense. So you have to position them accordingly. Okay? This whole plant, the #1 seller in the East Coast, it's a top seller here too. This is euonymus. Don't ask me how to spell that. It's E-U-O-I-A. I don't know. Euonymus. Take a picture of the tag afterwards. There's a lot of euonymus that grows here. The reason this grows so well, the leaf is super waxy. So it adapts really well in sun, shade. The more sun it gets, the more this yellow coloring you get, the more the two-toned. So this comes in a silver, comes in a white, comes in solid green, comes in gold. A lot of varieties. Comes in head high, comes in chest high, comes in knee high. There's every variety of euonymus that you could grow here. They do really, really well. Now, caveat. If you're out in that wildland interface, we have a lot of javelina, deer, rabbits especially. They love the taste of this. So plant it where the animals can't get to it, or in a big container on either side of the garage, a highlight to soften up that gigantic structure you're parking that 3/4 ton truck in, soften that up. That's where this shines. So evergreen, this is how it looks in the spring. This is how it looks in the summer. This is how it looks in the winter. This is how it looks. It just gets bigger. So this is all new growth right here. So it grows about 1 foot a year. Okay. Euonymus. A lot of varieties. Full sun, just hot, hot, hot. These are kind of exciting plants. So let's get it up where you folks online can see it. This is a variety of manzanita. So we've got wild manzanita everywhere. So this is going to adapt. We're trying to bring in or breed more varieties of manzanita. Low care, low water, just low maintenance. This one's famous in that it's got the same red stems. So you can see that online. You see bright red bark. It's evergreen. It gets the same bell-shaped flower in the spring. The bees kind of feed off that bell-shaped flower in early spring. It's a pollinator, but it's a great ground cover. This is as tall as it gets. It just spreads out. This plant will turn into this. One plant. So if you've got a hillside or there's just too much rock, you want to soften up the edges, you got some green, beautiful green ground cover. This is manzanita is a great way to go. This is Massachusetts kinnick. So mainly because they're trying to introduce manzanita on the East Coast. They don't like the word manzanita over there. They like the word kinnick or bearberry or other names, but it's truly the Latin name. This is a manzanita related directly to the one that grows wild in your backyard or on those paths out in the forest. This is the one. If you kill this, it will be from overwatering. So drought hardy, super easy to grow. Just if your hobby is watering, not gardening, this is not your plant. You want to forget about this. Go, oh, when's the last time I watered that? This plant thrives in that. Okay, yeah.
Can I plant it on the north side of the hill that doesn't get the sun? The north side is facing.
Yeah, probably there's some better choices. So her question was, can I plant this on the north side? This likes sun. I would say it needs at least 5 to 6 hours of sun during the growing season to really do well. What my concern would be on the north side and in where we get snow is in March, we can get there's a wet season in March. You could actually get enough snow to stay on there for a week or two on the north side, and then it would rot underneath the snow. My fear would be late winter, very early spring, that it wouldn't thrive. There's better choices that will take that without any problem. So we'll cover some of those. That's one. Ask us. Well, I don't want you to make a mistake. I want you to I want you in 2 years to brag at your next Christmas party going, yeah, I bought those at Waters. They're gorgeous. Yeah. Ken helped me with that. He made sure I didn't make a mistake. That's our niche in the marketplace. So we want that for you. Yeah. This is called kinnick. You can take a picture of the tag afterwards. So both of them are similar. Well, we've got the regular manzanita we sell, Howard McMinn. And there's 2 other varieties that are slower, and there's 2 shorter. So we've got probably 6 different heights. Yeah.
We talked about the other one. That one's a new one that came out, and it's a shorter variety.
Oh, Sunset Manzanita. I was just going to lump them in.
No,
This is so new, I don't know about it. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is a small leafed. That's cool. Cousins. This one gets flat and spreads 4 feet. This one looks the same. It's called Sunset Manzanita, but it gets hip high. Grows like this. That's pretty cool. This would be great in a container. Sun is its friend. Wind is the friend of manzanita. It's got this thick, waxy leaf to it. The older it gets, the brighter red the bark gets. All manzanitas are like that. So sunset manzanita, yes. I love it. Yeah, Paulden wind is the worst. And not only that, that's the most extreme gardening anywhere in the county. You get all that cold air settling on you from Ashford, up that ridge. You get the wind. You got great water, lots and lots of water. So you tend to overwater stuff because water's free out there. And you're trying to compensate for the wind. Yes, these will take that kind of wind. Yes. I'm also talking about the ridgeline winds. You folks with the beautiful vistas, and you're gardening in granite, basically. All the wind is blown off your yard. You might have to create pockets of soil to garden in. This will take that kind of wind too. Absolutely. You go down to here. Let's cover some grasses because we are into grass season. You're seeing a big grass about as tall as I am with plumes above that all around town. That's this. It's called pampas grass. It's not an evergreen. A lot of folks treat it like it's an evergreen. In lower elevations, it can stay green, but up here, it does turn a lot of brown in the winter. You do need to cut this back, usually after the new year sometime. By February, the snows have gotten to beat it up, starting to lay over. These look mangy. That's your cue. I don't like that plant anymore. You cut it back to about knee high or so. Just whack it off with a chainsaw or pruner, whatever. Whack it off. Fertilize it. Comes back with fresh new foliage in the spring. And it's famous for late summer through fall. This will bloom gloriously through the end of the year. It's glorious. I bring it because it's the #1 seller. I personally wouldn't plant it myself because it's too big, too aggressive, and it's sharp. It's hard to deal with. You got to cut it back all the time. But I bring it to you because it is put my kids through college with selling pampas grass in the fall. It's by far #1 seller because it's so glorious. It is glorious. We plant several out in the parking lot to motivate you to buy more. And what is that? It's pampas grass because I know I'm going to sell so many of them. But I wouldn't have it myself just because it's going to take, well, if you have a landscaper to help you, that's different. Yeah, go prune that back. That'd be different, but this is a pain. Oh.
I think that's similar to like heavenly bamboo, something that, oh, it's very popular, and then it just goes, boom, it takes over. That in a pot?
Can you put this in a pot? Yeah, probably not. It's too big. Well, a really big pot, you could probably get 4 or 5 years out of it, but eventually it's going to bust the pot. It's going to break it open. It's got a pretty aggressive root structure. The other reason I don't put this on the easy to grow, easy plants for busy gardeners, would put this on the list because it's a short-lived plant. It only lives for about 7, 8 years, if that. And then the middle dies out, middle section. And then more of it dies out. And then it turns into this horseshoe thing. And now it's going to drive you crazy. And it takes a backhoe to get this thing out of the ground. So it's not very long-lived. Let me show you some that are better. So a pampas grass. It is a good, strong plant, but these are way, 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 way better. Yeah. I've got two of the same thing. Gotcha. This is this thinks it's a native. It's called Muhlenbergia. We call it muley grass, muley. And it just has this red hue grass to it. This is as tall as it gets about hip high. It is evergreen. So it stays, you don't have to cut it back right to the ground. Sometimes I'll trim off the seed heads, but it just does this for a super long time. Deer don't eat it, rabbits don't eat it, doesn't get any disease. What I don't know about is I think gophers might eat the roots. That's one animal that might get it. And I don't know for sure. So that's one to watch. If you have gophers, that's an underground rat. It deserves to die. I'll show you how to kill it offline. I'm the gopher master. I will show you how to take them out. But muley grass, full sun, full wind, low. I would plant this and treat it like not a flower. I would treat it like my trees. Water it once a week. Put on that same drip line. Good to go. Okay, super, super hardy plant. This is a great, very easy to grow. If you're planting these easy to grow ones, the main thing is going to be your soil prep. Don't just dig a hole, throw it in the ground. Get a bag of mulch, amend it, take the rocks out, chuck those aside. It takes a little bit of prep to make them thrive, but once they get going, years and years of enjoyment. In between trees would be great, yeah. Yeah. Sure, that's a good one. Yeah, this would grow fine with that. Because in between trees, so the question is, how would this do in between a row of trees? Fantastic. It would probably bloom longer for you because it's not as intense sun, because you got half days. Basically, you got no sun here, then full sun, then no sun. It just kind of keeps it really, really happy. So yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't that variety. Apparently
There are several varieties. Yes, there are.
and my clump is now this big.
Nice.
But I mean, is there a way to control it? How big is that?
So here you go. So if you folks online, she's got a muley grass. She planted 1 gallon last year. Now it's this big. Is there a way to control it? So yeah, shovel to the head, just like a snake. So as it gets too big, divide it, pick it up, plant it over there. This divides really, really well. Oh, that's music to my ears. I'll sell you one after the class. Mueller grass, it does really, really well. So just, yeah, Richard. This would do fantastic in a pot. Really, really good. Because it doesn't get too big. It would last for years and years. You'll get bored with it before it outgrows its space. It'd be fine. And you'd be able to control it really easy that way. It's beautiful in a pot.
Like this in the wind and
Yeah.
wind. That doesn't look as thick and flowy.
Yeah. I think so. She's got a grass and some wind, and she gets a lot of motion in her with her grasses. All grasses we are living in a windy spot. I don't care where you're at. We get wind. Some of us get more than others, but we're going to get, especially that early season, we get a lot of wind. That's what I love about grasses. It just adds drama. It adds flow. It adds motion to the yard. What happens is usually after our second or third heavy snow in winter, we're going to get some. You never know how much. You never know when. But we're going to get some. The grasses start to look mangy. They get all beat up because all that weight lighting on top of the grass gets them to lay over. It looks like they're drunk in the yard. That's when I go back and trim, give them a haircut, cut them back. I take the mower to some of them, weed whack them. I just start to clean things up. And by then, the eggnog hangover is done. I mean, it's just January. I'm ready to get out there and do something. I'm tired of eating cookies and sipping tea. I want to be out in the yard some, so a nice day comes, and that's when I'll start slowly just trimming things back. Your pruning season here is January through March. It's very long. Take your time. Don't break your back or kill yourself pruning. Just take your time, do a little bit. Go inside, take a nap. Think about what you've accomplished today. Because tomorrow it'll be snowing, and the next day it'll be sunny. That's just kind of how our winters are. Okay, that's that one. Let me show you this one. These two. These two are fantastic. I love these two together. I often plant them together. This is a gold juniper, sometimes called old gold, Gold Coast gold. It's a gold juniper. It gets knee high and spreads unlimited. This plant will go from me to you. In fact, I have to prune mine back every 2 or 3 years, going, okay, that's you're in the pathway now. Come on, that's too aggressive. I'll just trim it back, big branch, take it out, and just kind of keep it in check. Super easy to keep in check. No bugs, takes the wind, animals don't eat it. We have native junipers growing everywhere. So you know all the juniper varieties are going to do well. I think this looks fantastic against all those dark colored rocks that we're spreading around the yard, that dark underlaying, or if you have a lot of compost you're spreading around, this really shines against the darker foliage. It doesn't look quite as good against the crushed granite. There, I'll try to pick blues for you. If I'm looking at your picture on your phone, I'm going, oh, I'm trying to look at what's contrasting, what else is growing. There's different things going through our heads when we see a picture of your yard. We're trying to make those calculations, going, which, if it's more lighter colored rock, we'll go with more of the blue. This comes in also a blue spreading color too, or green, okay? This is Indian hawthorn, or Raphaeoliptus. The common name's Indian hawthorn. Evergreen. It's a very early spring bloomer with a very fragrant flower. Again, the plants are a bit confused. This one's starting to bloom a little bit just because it's been so warm. We should be colder than this. I've not seen a frost in my yard yet. Normally that's at the end of October. We're halfway into November. So it's just late this winter. That'll be concerning for us as gardeners. This is not a good thing. Your gardens want to go to sleep. They're tired. They want to rest. If they keep pushing this weather keeps pushing them to grow, they'll keep using moisture. So they need to slow down, have their metabolism just kind of shut down and just go in stasis. That's what they want. Rest, rest, rest. Spring comes, they go, let's go. And that's when your fruit trees go crazy. If we stay warm like this, you'll have to water more. So right now I'm starting to throttle back my irrigation. So I'm back to every 10 days for the trees and shrubs. I'm going to go back to every 14. soon as I get a frost, maybe next week, we'll see. That's kind of the sequence I'll go through. If it stays warm and we just don't get this cold, winter, we don't feel like winter, I might bump it up a little bit every 10 days again. I'm a gardener, just like you all. I'm adjusting my irrigation and I'm looking at my plants going, are you happy? Talk to me. And they do talk to you. This is a full sun, blistering hot, surrounded by asphalt kind of plant. It needs at least 6 hours of sun. Animals seem to leave it alone. Doesn't get mildews. It's just super low care. Easy care plant. There's different models. This one gets about this high, but there's some that get this big. Basically, they're this big or smaller. They all get this pink to white flower, very fragrant. I use this one in a container, either side of my garage, because it's evergreen. It's a good shape. I don't have to do a lot of pruning with it. It just looks like this all the time. Great little plant. Indian hawthorn and gold juniper. I don't think we use enough junipers. Junipers are they get a bad rap, and the reason being, and I see this in my own yard right now, so there's some allergies to junipers. All of us have them. If you say you don't, I don't believe you. So we all do. But it's not the females. So my front yard is solid wall of junipers, and they are showing off. They're glorious. They want to put on a new dress. They're just looking good. They're all females. And they're loaded with berries, silver berries up and down. They're just beautiful. In the backyard, they're not native. I planted those because I want to create this secret patio area, but it's in the front yard. And we're in a walking neighborhood. So everyone's going by and everyone wants to say hi. And I like that. But sometimes I just want to sit there in my jammies and read the paper on my iPad. So anyway. And so I've created this patio, running fountains, lots of color, containers, timed lawns. It's beautiful. In the backyard, I've got a gigantic, glorious native juniper, alligator juniper. There's two types of juniper, shaggy bark and alligator juniper. Shaggy bark has a shaggy peeling bark, and then alligator looks like an alligator skin. It's got more, not shaggy, it's got more crusted. Okay? You can have either one in your backyard. Mine's alligator. It's a big old male. I mean, it is full on, and he is getting ready to pollinate the entire mountainside. He's turning yellow already. You can see the pollen pods on there. And if you've ever seen a juniper, a big male juniper, when in spring, February, March, they almost look like they're on fire. They just explode in this morning sun. They do poof. This gigantic cloud of pollen goes across the city. There's no way you can get around it. There's no way you can get away from it. You're surrounded by junipers. This little tiny juniper, we only sell females at Waters Garden Center, by the way. They're prettier, better, sexier. They don't have pollen. They're just better. So, and they're just as hardy as the males are hardier. So if we're taking juniper cuttings, we're starting our junipers by cuttings instead of by seed. So in seed, you're going to get 50-50, 50% male, 50% females. We can take the most beautiful specimen, take a cutting, and then we get a clone and have the exact same replica show up at the garden. That's what we're going. That's our focus here. Not every garden center is that way. That's what we're trying to do. Yep.
What type of juniper? I've seen them in the
Yeah.
What is that?
So they've got junipers that are really low to the ground. Some of them are called blue carpet. They'll have names like carpet, ground cover, spreading. We've got an entire section down there of nothing but spreading ground covery kind of things. Cotoneasters, junipers, different things. These kind of manzanitas will be in that section. So we're curating our, we know how you're shopping. We've been doing this for a few decades. You're shopping, I need a plant that's knee high, or I need a ground cover. I need one that just gets hip high. I want to block things. So we go knee high and lower, hip high, head high. We just curate them for you. So these are all going to be in the low growing guys. Yep. Lots of junipers here. And I think we need to use more of them because they're so easy care. If you say you've got brown thumbs, start with junipers. For the love of gardening, start with junipers because you can't kill them. They're just so easy. This is also a bestseller. In California, they call this heavenly bamboo. The rest of the country calls this nandina. So they're both the same plant, just common name. The botanical name, the Latin name is nandina. In California, they're famous for the really tall ones, domestica. It gets gigantic. It looks like bamboo, but it's not as invasive. It doesn't have these runners that come up everywhere, but it kind of has a feel to it. We do sell the domestica, but we sell way more of the shorter ones. So this is Sienna Sunrise, I think. Where's that Gulfstream? Gulfstream. Only gets this tall, beautiful ball shape, no pruning required, no care, no disease, no animals. It looks delicious. I want to add some ranch dressing, just have some myself, add some to the salad. But it's got some sort of sap in it that the animals don't like. So this is a great plant. Its claim to fame is it's evergreen. And if it's out in full sun, it will turn this intense, bright red to burgundy color. The entire plant will be bright red and burgundy. So it's evergreen, but it's not green. It changes color if it's in the sun. If it's in more shaded areas, it'll stay looking just like this. So we're going shade, sun. You can't, wherever you want to plant this, it will grow. Grows in containers, grows in the ground. You could almost grow it upside down. It's that easy to grow. Just kidding. But it's super easy to grow. So it looks delicate, but it is not. So all your nandina or heavenly bamboos are going to be a good choice for you. Let's cover a couple flowers because we are going to have, I'm so excited for this weekend. All the summer plants are going to die. They're going to look terrible. I'm so excited. People have been holding back on pansies and kale and snapdragons. We're actually loading up on Wednesday on more winter plants because we just know they're all going to die in the next couple days. You've been holding off because you're gardeners. You don't have the guts to kill something that's actually not dead yet. I mean, I pulled mine up a month ago, threw them away, full-on geraniums. Yeah, I know you're going to die. Put in my pansies, my snapdragons. Now they are glorious because I just know what's coming. So we're going to load up on the pansies and stuff, some of these kinds of things. So these are snapdragons, and it's because, oops, as a kid, you can make them talk. Looks like a dragon's mouth. Snapdragons, that's the name. Here, I'll show you. Here, just for you guys. Dun, 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 dun. Isn't that fun? Has no smell. That's amazing. It should. Snapdragons, we sell them as an annual. As you're going to live for a year and then they die. They don't think, no one's told them that. They think they're a perennial. They actually act like a wildflower. So you don't get just one of these. These are going to reseed and come up in other places. And they might come in different colors because when they reseed, you got genetics going on, so you get different colors. This might produce a yellow, might produce a pink, might produce some other color. So, but as long as they come up someplace where you want it, it's now a flower. When it jumps over into the walkways or something, it's now a weed. Kill it. Just kind of keep it in check because it's going to want to grow. We actually, technically, this is called a biannual. It'll grow for a couple of years. It's the same plant. So a perennial, true perennial, comes back. It might rest under the ground, but it comes back from the same root. It's the same plant, comes back the next spring. That's a true perennial. A biannual can come back by the roots, but really it's really coming back by seed. So California poppies, you never get just one, you always get hundreds, but it's technically an annual really, because that plant will not come back. It's coming back by seed the following spring. So it's kind of we're into semantics. We're deep into, this is gardening 301 or whatever. We're deep into it, but snapdragons, animals don't eat it. Doesn't get a disease. It's just bulletproof. And this is the time to plant them. The mistake that people make with this plant is that they've been so glorious through May into June. People come in, I want some of those snapdragons. I've been looking at them. My neighbors, they're so beautiful. They get the last crop. And then summer comes, and these do not like summer. These are most famous February through May and August through the end of the year. because they bloom like this. What will happen at the end of December, it'll be so much, the seed head, the flower head stalks will be this tall, and then it will stop blooming because it gets cold. The days are just too short for it. Just going, there's just not enough light to keep going. I'm going to rest for a moment. At that point, I will take my scissors and just trim them right here till all I see is the green part of it. And it just stays up there green. It's just beautiful. And then about February, sometime in there, it's getting warm. We're past the harshest cold of January. You can see, you're starting to see daffodils coming up. You can tell spring's right around the corner. Garden's talking, is starting to celebrate. I'll start fertilizing this with the flower power. There's a fertilizer we make for flowers. And it just starts going, okay, I'm ready. Poof, it starts taking off and does this for another 3 months. So it's got a ebb, it's got 2 seasons where it's seriously one of the showiest flowers in the entire garden, snapdragons. If you've got rabbits and javelina, these are your people. Okay, they're great. These are not your people if you've got javelina rabbits. I plant a lot of these. I've got probably a dozen of them planted already. These are ornamental kale or ornamental cabbage. It is related, it is edible, just has a nasty, bitter taste to it. You don't want to eat it. But it has this beautiful, this will get this big around, you get this beautiful, glorious head to it. This loves snow, cold, winter. You plant this now and it will be glorious through April, no matter the weather. Starting in April, May basically, it'll start to elongate. It gets this beautiful flower stalk to it. It's very fragrant. I keep that up there, especially at the back of the containers or something, because it's so fragrant. And then it's a pollinator. And then when it gets all done blooming, I'm kind of tired of looking at it. I kind of snip it off. Usually the mother plant will die. It kind of acts like an agave. Sometimes you get pups coming out from the underneath sides. So, but this is a great plant for winter gardening or very early spring. The time for these are now and February, March. That's when you'll see these at the garden center. Different colors, white, red, burgundy, green. There's a lot of them. But I love planting these with, that's exactly what I did. These javelina love the taste of this. They will be gone by 10 o'clock that evening. These will be gone. They can sniff them out, they hear them. So I plant these up on my pedestals. I've got a fountain right here. So I've got 2 pillars, big old bowls, and I plant them up here where they can't get to it. And they're glorious because it's right there in the front yard. I want to come home and see my beautiful gardens. I don't care how cold it is. I want to see these guys are winter blooming plants. So again, the mistake people make, they plant these too late. This is viola. Your grandparents called it Johnny jump ups, but they're the same plant. So this is a viola, or pansies. It's a direct cousin of pansies, giant pansies, violas, they're all the same. So we've got all those. You plant those now. So when your gardens get vaporized with the first frost, I'm hoping for tomorrow. If not, the next few days, it's going to take out those zinnias. The dream's going to be gone. All that summer stuff, they don't like the cold. But we haven't seen cold yet. Pull those out, put these in, put a little fresh potting soil, put these in, and you're set to go for the next 2 seasons, winter and spring. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, javelina just they act like a pig or something. I don't know. Anyone have a suggestion for that? They can jump sometimes. They climb stairs. They can jump a little bit. They're not going to jump up, up over a wall. Not like a cat or coyote or something. They're basically on their 4 hooves, and they can step up and they'll kind of give a little hoist. They are mischievous. Yeah. Yeah. How tall are your pots? Gotcha. Yeah. 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 I have electric fence. Javelina are my nemesis. And my HOA says can't have fence in the front yard. And I like that. Good. So I snuck out one night and I just put electric fence a foot off the ground where no one can see it through the garden. I didn't surround the whole garden because I want my Amazon delivery guy to get to the front door, but it's going around to the front driveway. So if they're trying to take any kind of shortcut, they're going to get zipped. It's 12 volts, doesn't hurt them. There's no You don't hear the smell of burning fur or anything. It just zips them on the nose, and they go, oh, I'm going to go eat her gardens or your gardens or your. I'm not going over there. There's still a male who'll come in every once in a while, find his way, and he'll eat my big pots. And so I've got big pots on either side of the garage. I mean, they're really tall, and they can't really stand up on it, but they'll nibble on the bottom sides sometimes. So anyway, they can knock garbage cans. Yeah. So this is chard. So it's an edible plant. Lettuce, spinach, these are all winter plants. Broccoli, cauliflower, these are all, someone just shot me a Facebook question yesterday going, hey, if I plant broccoli, what's going to happen if it gets cold, if it snows? The flavor will be even sweeter. What makes those cool season crops go off taste is warm. They don't like warm, they want cold. So you can easily plant cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, lettuce now. You're going to be harvesting that for Christmas dinner, for sure. So, and this is one of those too. It stays like this all the time. If you're a juicer, if you just like chard, I like it because it's just beautiful. So I frequently will plant these things together. I don't put this in my vegetable garden, quite honestly. Tomatoes will be picked tomorrow, and I'm pulling those. I'm tired of gardening in the vegetable garden. I'm not going to go put more out there. I bring things closer in, and I'm planting my edibles in my container gardens because they're beautiful. I mean, that's just striking. You put this with, I mean, that's just pretty. And so not so much edible. This is edible. Like you can combine. We don't have to garden like our grandparents did. Everything's got to be a soldier going through the garden. It's got to be perfectly geometrical. We can be a little less formal than that. So I frequently will do that with my edible gardens. So they're going to like sun. So especially if you want to use it to harvest. So the question was, how much sun does this need? I would say at least 6 hours. And I'm not talking during the growing season. I'm talking in winter. So you want this to be on the south, maybe east to west side, somewhere it's seeing that southern exposure. It's going to be happy, especially if you're harvesting. So to keep this thing flushing new foliage, if you're pinching those off and using those in the kitchen, which I encourage, you're going to want some sun on it. Okay, yep. Now I'll leave you with this. This is one of my favorite winter perennials. So this is truly a perennial, permanent and perennial come back. So they're both P. Those are the ones that come back year after year. This is a dianthus. Anytime you hear pinks, dianthus, or carnations, they're all the same. They're all cousins of each other. All the same. They all have this, just the flower size. Pinks, dianthus, carnations. The flowers will change size, but the foliage is pretty much the same. It's got a spicy cinnamon foliage to it. It's using that as a defense to keep animals off of it. So nothing eats this. Super easy care. I would say it likes the sun at least 6 hours during the growing season. It'll keep it blooming, but it has a super long bloom cycle. It basically, if you deadhead or pinch the dead flowers off, this spent flower, you pinch that off, it will set another flower. Every month except for maybe January. And even then it'll have buds. Might not be in bloom, but it'll have buds. It's just a great little evergreen perennial. Does great in containers. You can have it on the sidewalk, off to the sides, kind of make it more English or cottage looking. Great perennial plant. The rabbits aren't going to eat it. Pack rats, they don't bother it. Great little plant. Okay, mounds up about. This plant will probably turn into this nice little tortoise shell kind of size. That's what that's going to turn into. Okay. You just smell that. It has a cinnamony, rich smell. And so a lot of plants have this fragrance going, don't be eating me. It's not going to taste good. Here, I can prove it. Smell this. So that's their way of defending themselves. But it's kind of, it's not rosemary smell. It's got something else to it. Anyway, and that's what I got for you. Let me leave you with, if you're new to gardening, so what you can do right now, fertilize. If you've not fertilized this fall, get a bag of all-purpose plant food, put it down the ground. We might see moisture coming through this storm. We'll see. I hope. We need it. but put it down the ground, put it down the rocks. The plants are taking that food and they're using that to form next spring's new candle growth and evergreens, flower buds on your lilacs, your fruit trees, or new growth on your evergreen hedges. It's using that. This is the most critical feeding of the entire year right now. I can't emphasize that. It's unique to us because we really don't get that cold. So we kind of are mild. Plants are still using water and food right through winter. We don't really get a frost line or an ice line. We don't get that. We don't have this. I got a buddy. He's got a garden center up in Wisconsin. He winters in Sedona. He comes over and says, "Hey, Ken, I'm in town. Want to go to lunch?" And so, yeah, that'd be great. He's got 8-foot frost line. There's no gardening this. Who lives in that? That's crazy. 8 foot of ice. That's crazy. We don't see any of that. If we do see an ice line, you pick right through it. The soil is soft underneath. You keep gardening. We garden 12 months out of the year. In fact, we're loading up right now because we need to bring the plants in now in order to acclimate or get them used to our transition into this cold. So we're front loading a lot of plants so that when you take them home and plant them in January, they're on our cycle. They're our plants for our gardens and they're on our cycle. So we're purposely doing that for you. The other one was, and I already mentioned this. Let me do this too. I had 2 plants. God, should be better. I'll stall until everyone gets this. I have 2 handouts for you. I'll email to you this weekend. One, I wrote a column a couple weeks ago called Easy Plants for Busy Gardeners. You'll get a copy of that. It just goes over all of these in detail with pictures. And then I have a top 10 plant list. I've curated the top 10 fruit trees that grow here, the top 10 evergreens, top 10 blooming shrubs that are this high, top 10 blooming shrubs that are this high, top 10 perennials, top 10 vines. I've got the top, not all, just the most popular. I'll send that list. It's a PDF, 2 pages. There's not detail, it's just a list. You can go research more as you want or come bring it to here and walk through. But it's one of our most popular class handouts. I'll make sure you get a copy of that. So make sure you put your email down. And if you could, just take a moment and write clearly so I can see the difference between 6s and Bs and all the other stuff. So take a moment. Okay, while we're stalling, I was going to mention watering. Make sure to water at least twice a month, the whole yard. Well, my irrigation system's off. We'll take your grandparents did it with watering cans. Take a watering can out and go water things, especially new things. If it's new in the last year, make sure you water those things. I hydrate them a couple times a year. It'll keep them really healthy. If not, if we go through a cold cycle and the plant is dry, what will happen is we call it winter burn or winter kill. The tips of the plants will die back. You can drive through your neighbor and you go, "Oh, they didn't water. Oh, look at that, they didn't water." You can tell who let their plants go dry. So my containers, I have a lot, dozens of containers, trees in containers, grasses in containers. I have a lot of containers. If I see that it's going to be getting cold, and you know the event, the weatherman's been talking about it for a week. Your neighbors have gone out and they bought every toilet paper roll in the grocery store. They just the empty shelves for a 2-day event. Just hibernate for a couple of days. It'll be melted in a couple of days. Before that event gets to us, water things, because a hydrated plant, it keeps this has got a lot of antifreeze in it. So as long as it's hydrated, it's going to keep that antifreeze going. It's going to keep looking good. It's got so much foliage. If it goes through a cold event and it's dry, it will start to defoliate or go deciduous on us. As long as you water it, it's glorious because of the amount of foliage. Just water things before the cold gets here. My name's Ken. We're just friends. I'm telling you, this really works in my gardens. I think it's going to make a difference for yours too. It's a rookie mistake to go, "Oh, plants that are wet, they'll get colder." No, they like to be moist. It keeps the antifreeze in the structure of that plant moving, keeps it mobile. Okay, take a sip. Questions? How about online? Where are you all tuned in from? Let us know. Type in a question, get prioritized. So anything going on? Yeah. Yeah,
And I want it cut on top so it stays.
like an umbrella. Yeah.
And it was December.
So the question is, she's got a mimosa tree or silk tassel tree, and it's in the yard. The top is starting. She wants to keep it umbrella shaped. So it tends to be a tree that looks like this. But she doesn't want to have a top to it. I love it. That's a great idea. When can you prune that back? Her landscaper wants to do it in December. Is that too soon? So generally we say January through March to prune those because the bugs aren't out. There's less things to kind of get into that cut. But you're in a dilemma. The landscaper's in the neighborhood working your yard then. He wants to do it then. You probably just take it when you get a chance. So because he's trying to be efficient with his crews, he's trying to make that route around the neighborhood. So I think December would be fine. Is it the best? No. Will it be cold enough in December? I don't know. Right now, no. But it'll definitely get cooler. Ideally, the reason we say January through, because by then the cold has hit us enough where the bugs have they're all hibernating under the mulch and the bark. They're not roaming around going, where's an easy target? As soon as you make a cut, let's say in summer, it starts to weep. You get sap and stuff, and things are attracted to that, from birds to bugs. You just don't want. I mean, you could do it then, but you just don't want the risk of something getting into your, maple tree or elm, and then now you've got slime flux or something coming in. There's no cure for it. So just a safety thing. So great question though, great. Who else? I'm stalling. You got to come up with questions. Second row. Give me something, Richard, something else. I covered it all. God, that's great. Good questions today. Yeah.
We haven't done any landscaping, and they want us to use plants that are indigenous.
Okay.
Is this all considered indigenous?
Some of it is, some of it isn't. So the cotoneasters, this grass, some of it is. So bring your plant list in. We can guide you through. So some neighborhoods we want you to use this list. We can guide you through and get you. Yeah. A lot of the indigenous stuff you won't like because they're ugly. Cholla, it's indigenous, but it's a poke, also called jumping cactus. You don't want the grandkids getting anywhere close to that. So there's certain things we can help guide you through going, these are the tough, you can't kill that. Junipers are everywhere. It's indigenous. So you can do a lot. Manzanitas, cotoneasters, they're all good. The grasses, they're all good. Yep.
One from the east that is a cousin of the manzanita.
Yep.
And sure, covered a large area. Got a area in the backyard. The tumbleweed.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's all it is.
Yeah.
And we'll go out and kill that out.
Great question. Glad you brought that up. So he's got an area in his back that it grows tumbleweeds. Can he plant this? And would it grow thick enough to keep the tumbleweed seed from coming in and germinating? Yes, it would. Yeah. Now, here's a thing. Tumbleweeds, horehound, goat head, all the things that have an animal name like ferocious, weed, these are all nasty weeds. They're all annuals. They only come back to you by seed. So tumbleweeds roll through your yard. The seed are spread everywhere. They're going to come back by seed. So if you can keep that seed from seeing light, it's not going to germinate. What I do for my own yards. So in January, usually in January, I'm putting a weed and grass stopper down. It's like a fertilizer. And I'm putting it down in January because that's right when the foxtail or the dandelions come. There's a whole series of cool season grasses, and foxtail looks so beautiful. It's a beautiful green grass. Then it gets this burr. That's the one where the burr goes through your sock. Once you go through your ankle, come out the other side. It's a nasty weed. Only comes back by seed. So if you can put a seed stopper or weed and grass stopper down, it keeps them from coming. I apply that stuff twice a year. Put it down in January, and I put it down in June, because I know the rains are coming in July. And that's when the tumbleweed horehound, the goat head, the goat head's the one that you step on and like, oh, my dogs get in their paws, going, help me. That's it's an annual. Only comes back by seed. So if you can put that as a barrier, you won't have those things, or 95 or more percent are gone. There's two things in life I despise about gardening. I really don't like weeding. I don't like watering. My hobby is not watering, but I love beautiful landscapes. So my entire yard, including the containers, are on automatic irrigation, and everything has got the weed and grass stopper because I am not going to be out there every week. I know I have customers that pull their back out because they're trying to pull weeds out of the ground. That's crazy man stuff. We live in Prescott, Arizona. We got enough money for a bag of weed and grass stopper. Just do that, and you won't have to go out there and weed anymore. But timing is everything. Put it on right before you know those weeds are going to germinate, and kind of think the J's, January and June, and you kind of it'll take most of that work out of gardening for sure. Yeah. Oh, one more. Sorry, I think we had someone online. We wanted to prioritize you guys.
Yes, what is the white stuff on the apple tree branches?
White stuff on the apple tree branches. Take a picture, bring it in, but I'm thinking it's going to be the new growth. If it's at the very tip, apples tend to put on this furry coating to it. It's a defense to keep the deer off of them because it's kind of, they eat that stuff and it kind of makes them go, Kah. Or it could be an aphid. There's an woolly apple aphid, one of the two. I don't know which one. Bring a sample, take a picture, we can ID it in a second. If you brought a sample in, we can actually put it under the microscope and you'll see his beady little eyes going, yeah, fangs going, yeah, I'm going to eat your face and the apple's face off. Or it's just natural growth. So bring a sample and I'd encourage that. Or take a picture, email it to us or something. So great question. What, there was something else over here? Yeah.
When you're putting down that blocker, are there a lot of those you have to do it and then water it, or we do it just before rain?
Yeah, great question. So his question is, when he's putting down the weed and grass stopper, do you have to water it? I'm one of those crazy neighbors that are out there in the rain, spreading my stuff out in the rain. Or if I know there's a rain coming, I do it right then. I do that with my fertilizers, especially in the backyard where the dogs are. Because if anything happens to the dogs, my marriage is over. She's gonna leave me. Dogs are much higher priority than I am. I want to make sure that I don't have any issues back there. And so what the bag actually says, if you read the label, it says must have water to activate within 30 days. I want it activated now. I want it go now. So if you know you got a storm coming, like this is perfect. Put it down now. Rain's coming eventually. If you don't know, it's June. You're not going to see rain in June. Water it. Just take a hose. It needs water to activate. What we do is we suspend the weed stopper in vermiculite, and it hits the water, hits that, and it goes into the soil. It creates a barrier in that top few inches of soil. So when the seed wants to send that taproot down, it doesn't let the taproot down. That's actually how it works. So kind of TMI, too much information, but I love the science of stuff. So I love the science of gardening. Great question. With that, I will hang out as long as you all want. Come take a look at the plants. I'm glad you were here. We've got one more class next week. And I did write that down. I forgot what it was. God, it's the hardiest. Dang, it was a good one too. Anyway, one class left next Saturday. Yeah, evergreen designs be perfect for you all. How do you design? How do you place evergreen? I'm sure it'll be Arizona cypress, the bigger broadleaf evergreens, the ground covers. How do you design with those this time of year? Because this is their time. So that'll be the class. It should be good. With that, before you go though, the actor in me wants to hear applause. I don't know, it just makes me feel better. So thank you. Appreciate it.